Morning everyone. I'm over at Janesmoor Pond, Janesmoor Plain, over by Fritham. I haven't been here before, but what I'm going to do is walk back towards Fritham alongside the road, because there's some nice oak woodland just over there, and I want to walk through there, and I know that it goes down into a valley, so I should be able to get the tops of the trees as the trees go down. So yeah, going to try that out. Also, the weather's been like this for the best part of a week, and I'm starting to think I want to get out and take some pictures. There's been no wind, so the leaves have been holding on where they have been, but in other places we've had some strong winds earlier, about 2 weeks ago, and that's taken quite a lot of the leaves off the trees in some places. So yeah, trees go a bit staggered, so they don't all go at once. They sort of change over a period of like 2 to 3 weeks. If you're lucky, you might get 4. But yeah, you've got willows that sometimes go a bit earlier, chestnuts go a bit earlier, and then everything else sort of follows after that. So yeah, I'm just going to have a little go. I'll have a little wander around as well. I'll show you the pond. That looks quite nice first thing in the morning. And yeah, I'm just hoping there's some trees on the way over there and we'll be able to pick them out. Let's get the gear together and crack on. It's about 12 degrees this morning and the sun is probably just rising. It's still pretty dark. I don't think it shows very well in the camera. But yeah, 12 degrees. It's quite mild for this time of year. We're the start of November, into the first week of November. And yeah, it's just unusually mild. And the leaves are still hanging on to the trees, which I would have thought would have been gone and done and dusted in October. So yeah, today I'm just wearing a waterproof and a mid-layer and a t-shirt, and I've got my walking trousers on. But yeah, nothing, don't have to worry about body heat, losing it or anything. It's just really mild. Anyway, just gonna crack on over in that direction. If I see something, I'll switch the camera back on. See you later. This is quite nice. I'm just walking along the forest tree line. You can see there's a lovely light mist there, and that's quite good. If I find a tree now in this foreground, it might give me a bit of separation. Equivalent to using like f5.6 or something like that. It should soften the background. So yeah, I think I found an unusual tree. I just think I might be a little bit too close and get too much sky in. There's this one here right in front of you. So you can see that one there. Silver birch, leaning over a little bit and then going straight up. I think that looks quite interesting. And oh, look at that. Not sure if I can do anything with that, but there's something like 3 dead trees just down there. I might have a look at that. But this is the one that I'm going to concentrate on now. And I just think, because it's got a lot of sky in there, I'm going to need to get further away and get my zoom lens out to get this one. But look at that lean, that's beautiful. I think I might get that. That's the shot there. But I need to get back because watch the tree line behind. as I walk away. You'll see the tree line behind should be going up towards the top of the tree. And that'll create a lovely dark background. Well, I've got to be some distance away, look. Probably about 75 metres now. But yeah, just keep going back until that tree is level pretty much with the background trees or below. A drone would be good now, wouldn't it? Or a ladder. Alright, just going to keep moving back. I think I've got to be back probably as far as that bit over there. Ooh, that looks a bit of a bog. Look at that. So yeah, just backing out over to here, and I think I might have myself a nice shot. That's quite nice. I think I am going to get a bit of sky in it, but at least the majority of the image is going to be trees in the background. Okay, let's see if we can frame it. I think this is my limit. I can't go further back because I've got a gorse bush behind me, but what I do like is in front of me I've now got a bit of a leading line between the gorse, and I can flip the camera the other way into portrait, so I might have a go with that. But yeah, I'm going to give you a little view of what I'm seeing. So as you can see, this gorse line here is leading all the way down to my tree. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to try and incorporate that if I can. And as you can see, I'm zoomed in a little bit there on the back of the camera. Histogram as far up to this far left, right as I can. And the reason for that is the mist is quite light and white. And because it's obviously dark, I want it to come across as a bit lighter than it really is. Otherwise they come out as dark and dingy, moody photos. I just want this to be really light and fluffy. Fluffy? Is that the right word? I don't know. But that's my composition. So that'll be my first shot. And then I might flip it into portrait and see if I can get another shot out of that. Just going to put you there. Now you're over there. Cool. So I'm just going to fire off a few shots of this just to make sure I've got it nice and sharp. So just so you know what my settings are, I'm on f5.6 ISO 320. I know this camera can cope with that, so I'm happy to up the ISO. Don't be afraid to do that, but find out your camera's limitations. And then I'm on a shutter of 1/25 of a second. Yeah, so I think that's going to be quite a nice, pleasing first shot. Just going to flip it into portrait and see if I can incorporate that leading line. It's a nice little framing actually, so should be quite nice. Just going to see if I can cut a bit more of that sky out. Zoom into there. I think that's cracking. Not a bad start to the day. Now I purposely made it a bit blurry in the foreground on this, and then I'll make it a bit darker down in the bottom corners just to draw your eye further into the image. Okay, let's move on and see if we can get another composition or go further into the woods. I'm going to show you this. I'm hand holding the video camera at the moment, but I'm going to show you this because I really want to talk you through why I think this doesn't work. So I've now moved around that same tree, and you can see I'm on the back of the camera here. You can see, let's get rid of that so you can see more of what I'm looking at. So as you can see there, I've got the tree leaning out a little bit, and I put it dead central because I kind of like this branch leaning back in, so it kind of like, I kind of want to lead you back into the image with that second branch. Now the reason why I think this is messy is because the gorse in the background, even though I've chose the aperture of 5.6, which will be enough to soften it up a little bit, I feel like it will not help the image. I feel like this will be messy. So I'm going to see if I can move so that I can include a bit more of that gap there with a little telegraph pole down it. Hopefully I can hide that telegraph pole, but it will give it separation. It might work better. So that means I'd have to move around. So here you go, I've now moved around to the right, and you can see there's a bigger gap behind that tree. And just to give you an idea what I'm now looking at on the back of the camera, let's move that back down, get you there. So now can you see that? Isn't that so much better? I've now got, I know it's leaning out of the image a little bit there, but it goes straight up as well. That's the only bit that's putting me off a little bit, but I kind of like that this branch here leans back in. So I don't know, I'm going to have to do some cropping because I don't like the top so much, but I really like this area here, more around the centre, and it's separated all the branches out. I don't know if I can zoom in and show you. Maybe what I'll do, I flipped a video on this camera and you can see it from there, so I'll do that. And if you can see there, this is the bit, well, this is going to be really blurry, isn't it? But yeah, you can see there's a leaning tree where it's leaning out of the image, which is what I don't like. But you see that branch on the lower right hand side, it's leaning back in, and I feel like that will save it a little bit. But I love the separation because now I've got that really deep background, loads of space behind it, and it separates it out a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to take a couple of shots of that. It is going to be a crop because I don't like the sky showing in it, but I do love the leaves on that birch, and you've got some nice red foliage on the bottom there. Not too bothered about the soft focus in the foreground, because I think I need the shutter speed at the moment because the leaves are moving a little bit, and it's that gentle movement that's going to make this image hit or miss. Anyway, take a few shots of this and then see where we can go from there. Right, if that image is any good, I'll put it on the screen now, but I'm quite pleased with that, probably more so than the other one, which was just a, you know, like when you show up on location, it's the first thing you see and you think, ah, that's quite a nice picture, and you just take it. But this, I feel like I've taken a bit more time to find it. So yeah, I'll put it on the screen if it's any good, and we'll move on, see if there's any shots to take anywhere else. Now I said earlier that I like these dead trees. Now I've just come to spend a bit of time around it and I've decided against it. Mainly because the background is too close and it's not really showing off some awesome foliage there, is it? Which is a shame. It is a shame. There's just too much clutter going on in there. So I'm going to move on and see if I can find something a little bit further in. And that's what I came here for anyway, so I need to start moving in. This is one of my problems. When I take pictures, it's very hard to get away from the first subject. But it's right behind me and I need to move on. Now this is where I find woodland photography gets a little bit more tricky. As you go into the woods, it's so overwhelming to see all the colours, all the different things that's going on in the woodland. Whereas outside of the woodland, you can pick off the odd tree and it's just so much simpler. So now I've got to try and make the compositions simple in a very cluttered woodland. But everything in here is looking absolutely gorgeous. Let me just show you around. Now, I think it's really easy to say. The star of the show in this wood is the beech tree. They seem to be in that transition of green and orange and brown and red at the moment. So they're right in the middle of their autumn fall, which is looking awesome. There's just red leaves all over the floor. And then you've got the lovely green and the yellow and the orange in the trees. And backlit, it looks absolutely stunning. I'm pretty sure you can see for yourself. Now, I think I've got to do something with the beech because I'm looking around and there's a lot of green still in this wood. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to explore around a little bit and see if there's anything here. I mean, straight away, that tree behind me is looking really good. But I just got to work out where I can compose a shot. It's just so overwhelming. Yeah, I'm just going to have to turn everything off, spend a few moments on my own in this little woodland and find something. So yeah. Wait for the next update. Would you look at the colours on that? So I think there's a composition here. I love the fallen trees down on the base there and the leaves. That looks really nice. I really think those red colours will give it a little bit of punch. And then I just love that the trees are changing in the background there. So I think this is a tree to tree shot. So I'm going to see if I can introduce a bit of panorama here and get that shot. So I think it's about 3 photos. I'm just going to do tree to tree, but obviously I'm going to overshoot. You really do want to overshoot your panorama so you've got a bit more play with the image when you come to cropping. The worst thing you can do is stop dead on just past the tree, because if you were to crop that, you might find that you're going to lose that tree. So always go way beyond what you think you need. So let's take that shot. I might have to change the lens out first as well. It's very easy to get caught up with the same lens. Just stick with it all day long. Because one, you can get a bit lazy and not want to change the lens out. But if there's any element of doubt that you're going to get an image which, with any changing of lens, then definitely make the effort to go do it, because you might actually get back and go, I wish I did that now. So yeah, I'm going to get this one anyway. You can see in the background how close I am to the road. I'm literally going parallel with it and I'm looking back into the woods that way. So yeah, I think this is a 3-image shot, as I've already said. I just wish there was an overhanging branch with autumn leaves on. I think that will make a more interesting shot. But this is just going to be a clean image, nice sweep across. I'm on f10. I've reduced the ISO to 100 and I'm on a shutter speed of 1.6. So yeah, slow. It's pretty dark. You're about to hear. That's slow. But there's not a lot of breeze in this wood. In fact, do that one again. This time I'm going to put my hand in front because I want to know that this is the start of my panorama. So, got my fingers in the shot. Take it again. Take the autofocus off. Take my shot. Sweep round. Take the shot again. And all I'm doing is just moving the camera now. Do not adjust the settings. The histogram is quite nicely stacked throughout the whole panorama. Shouldn't change a lot at all, to be fair. And I think that is going to be a beautiful shot. Go. Now I'm going to keep wandering this way, and then what I might do is just go down the slope a little bit and see if there's anything to be had across the valley. But yeah, just going to grab my bag and then I'll move on. Hello again, welcome back. So I found another composition. Now this is a barbed wire here, so I know I'm not allowed to go in that bit. That could be private, and that could be a working forest there. So looking over this barbed wire, I can see there's a composition across the other side, and they've taken some of the trees out in the middle, which kind of goes in my favour. You can also see there's a bit of mist further over there. Now I've gone back to the 70 to 200mm. I'm just going to use that lens to sort of do another pano. I think is worthy here. If you look from that tree there all the way to the one leaning over on this side, and I think there's a nice picture there with all the autumn foliage down in the valley. So I'm going to take that shot and see if that's any good, and if it is any good, I'll slap it up on the screen for you to have a look at yourselves. So yeah, let's have a go. So I have got a polarizer on here, and I'm at 1/6 of a second shutter, f10, ISO 200, and I'm just going to sweep across, and I've got this overhanging tree first. So remember again, get more than you need. So I'm zoomed out. I have got sky in this shot, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it out. This is going to be a large enough image as it is on its own. So I shouldn't need to worry too much about losing any of the image as such. I'm just going to sweep across there. That polarizer has really brought out some of the colours, and I've still got some of the mist in the shot as well. So I love that fluffy mist. It just adds a lovely mood to it. And it's very soft as well. So there you go, one side to the other. I think I've got that shot. Right, I think one more image. Now I've just stumbled on this composition, which is a beautiful dead tree which is kind of leaning in the same direction as a tree behind it, and then I've got another tree on the right hand side which kind of like closes off the frame, so it's perfectly framed. Now there is a beautiful bit of foliage, combination of green to red to oranges behind it, which I think gives it that little bit of pop. Now I'm trying to exclude the floor as much as I can, and I'm using a polarizer as well to take some of that glare off the ground as well. And the only bit I'm struggling with is whether I feel like I've got to centre it, because it's the centre of attention sort of thing. It needs to be in the middle. There is plenty of sky behind it as well because I'm shooting upwards. I just don't know whether I've got the right composition here. I don't know whether I need to include more or take out. Now I could just do that. Let's do that. Let's try it. Let's include more. So here, I'm including plenty of the ground. I'm focused on the main subject, which is that tree, the dead tree in the middle. See, I think it gets lost in the middle with more around it. I feel like it's the composition is in there and then down a bit. I feel like it's there. I do like that branch over the top there. That might close the top off a little bit. Let's try and include that and see what happens. Now I don't like chopping halfway down a tree. I like to include the tree or get rid of it altogether. So I'm going to close in again, try and just get what I need. Let's try that. I'm going to pack up and start heading back towards the car. Hopefully there will be another composition on the way back. If not, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, see you later. Bye bye.